Let me tell you something that might explain a lot of what you've been feeling lately. If you're a man over 50 and you've noticed that the weight comes on easier than it used to, that you're tired by 3 in the afternoon, that the same meals you ate at 30 now seem to settle right around your middle, that is not just getting older. That is a signal. Your metabolism, the engine that burns fuel inside every cell in your body, may have quietly slowed down. And here's the part nobody tells you. By the time most men notice it, it has often been declining for years. Stay with me, because near the end of this video, I'm going to share the one overlooked morning habit that may do more to wake your metabolism up than anything you'll find in a supplement aisle, and most men have never even heard of it. First, let's clear something up, because there's a lot of confusion around this word. Your metabolism is simply the sum of all the energy your body uses to keep you alive and moving. It powers your heartbeat, your breathing, your brain, your muscles, the repair work that happens while you sleep. A big chunk of that energy burn, what we call your resting metabolic rate, happens even when you're sitting still, and the single biggest driver of that resting burn is your muscle. Muscle is metabolically expensive tissue. It costs your body energy just to keep it around. So when men lose muscle as they age, and most men start losing it somewhere in their late 30s and 40s, often without realizing, the engine gets smaller and a smaller engine burns less fuel. That's the foundation of everything I'm about to tell you. So how do you actually tell if your metabolism has slowed down? Let's go through the signs, because I want you to be honest with yourself as I list them. The first and most common sign is gradual weight gain, especially around the belly, even though you haven't really changed how you eat. This is the classic one. A man tells me, I'm eating the same as I always have, but I'm up 15 pounds over the last few years. That's a slowed metabolism story almost every time. Your intake stayed flat, but your burn dropped, and that gap quietly turns into stored fat. And it tends to land around the midsection in particular, because as men's hormones shift with age, the body changes where it likes to store fat. The second sign is fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. I'm not talking about being tired after a hard day. I'm talking about waking up after 8 hours and still feeling like your battery is at 40%. When your cells aren't producing energy efficiently, you feel it as a kind of low, flat tiredness that coffee papers over, but never really solves. A lot of men have learned to just live with this. They think it's normal, it's common, but it's not the same as normal. The third sign is feeling cold more often than you used to. Cold hands, cold feet, reaching for a sweater when nobody else in the room is cold. Your metabolism literally generates heat. It's called thermogenesis. When that internal furnace turns down, your body temperature regulation can shift, and some men notice they're just chillier than they were a decade ago. The fourth sign is what I call the after-lunch crash. You eat a normal meal, and within an hour, you feel like you need to lie down. Your blood sugar handling tends to get less efficient as metabolism slows and as muscle declines, because muscle is one of the main places your body parks the sugar from your food. Less muscle, less efficient storage, bigger energy swings, and that heavy, foggy feeling after meals. The fifth sign shows up in your strength and your recovery. Things feel heavier than they should. You're sore for 3 days after yard work that used to cost you an afternoon. Your grip isn't what it was. This points straight back to muscle loss, which, as I said, is the engine room of your metabolism. And the sixth sign is mood and motivation. Feeling flat, less drive, less of that get up and go spark. Energy, metabolism, and how you feel mentally are tied together more tightly than most men appreciate. When the body's energy systems are sluggish, your whole sense of vitality can dim with them. Now, if you're sitting there recognizing 3, 4, 5 of these in yourself, take a breath. Because here's the genuinely good news, and it's the reason I made this video. A slowed metabolism in men over 50 is not a one-way street. Your metabolism is remarkably responsive. It adapts to the demands you place on it. Give it the right signals, and it can rev back up. So let's talk about how to do exactly that, naturally. The first and most powerful lever is building and protecting muscle. I know every man over 50 has heard lift weights, and a lot of you tune it out. But understand the why. When you do resistance training, and that can be dumbbells, resistance bands, body weight squats and push-ups, anything that challenges the muscle, you're not just toning up. You're rebuilding the very tissue that drives your resting burn. You're making the engine bigger again. 2 or 3 short sessions a week, Focusing on the big movements, squatting, pushing, pulling, hinging at the hips, can begin to shift this. You don't need a fancy gym. You need progressive challenge, meaning you gradually make it a little harder over time. This one habit may support your metabolism more than any other single thing you do. The second lever is protein. As we age, our bodies actually become less efficient at using protein to build muscle. Researchers call this anabolic resistance, which means older men often need more protein, not less, to hold on to muscle. Many men over 50 are running on toast and coffee for breakfast and wondering why they're losing strength. Spreading good protein sources across your day, eggs, fish, lean meat, Greek yogurt, beans, lentils, gives your body the raw material it needs to maintain that metabolically active tissue. A solid dose of protein at breakfast in particular can help set the tone for the whole day. And if you want faster, longer-lasting results, I've put the exact natural support I recommend in the link below this video. The third lever is movement throughout the day, not just exercise. There's a concept that's quietly powerful here. All the energy you burn just by living and moving. Walking to the mailbox, taking the stairs, standing while you're on the phone, fidgeting, doing chores. It adds up to far more than most people's workouts. A man who sits for 10 hours a day and a man who's casually on his feet and moving can have a meaningful difference in daily burn, even if neither one steps foot in a gym. So break up your sitting. Stand up every half hour. Take the longer walk to the car on purpose. Park further away. These tiny choices, stacked across a day and a year, can genuinely support your metabolism. The fourth lever is sleep, and this one is badly underrated. When you're short on sleep, and I mean consistently getting 6 hours or less, your body's hormones that regulate hunger, blood sugar, and fat storage get thrown off. Poor sleep is linked to increased cravings, especially for quick carbs and sugar, and to less efficient blood sugar handling the next day. Protecting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep is one of the most metabolically friendly things you can do, and it costs you nothing. Cool, dark room, consistent bedtime, screens off earlier than you'd like. Simple, but it works. The fifth lever is managing stress, because chronic stress keeps a hormone called cortisol elevated, and persistently high cortisol is linked with storing fat around the abdomen and with breaking down muscle, the exact two things we're trying to avoid. You don't need to become a monk, but a daily decompression habit, a walk outside, some slow breathing, 10 quiet minutes, time with people you actually like, takes real pressure off your system. And the sixth lever is what you drink and how you fuel. Staying well hydrated supports the chemical reactions of metabolism. Cutting back on the steady drip of liquid sugar, the sodas, the sweet coffees, the evening drinks, removes a constant load on your blood sugar. And building your plates around protein, fiber, and plants while pulling back on ultra-processed food gives your metabolism steadier fuel instead of constant spikes and crashes. Now, I promised you one overlooked morning habit, and here it is. Get sunlight on your eyes and skin early in the day, ideally within an hour of waking, and pair it with a short walk. Morning light helps set your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, and that clock quietly governs your hormones, your sleep quality that night, your blood sugar handling, and your energy. When that rhythm is aligned, everything downstream tends to run better. A 10-minute morning walk in natural light does 3 things at once. It anchors your clock, it gets you moving before you've even thought about it, and it lowers stress. Most men chase complicated fixes and completely overlook this free, powerful one. Start there tomorrow. Here's what I want you to take away. A slowed metabolism is not a life sentence, and it is not simply the price of getting older. It's feedback. Your body is responding to the signals you've been sending it, and that means you can start sending it different ones, starting today. Pick one lever from this video, just one. Build a little muscle, eat protein at breakfast, walk in the morning light, and let it become a habit before you add the next. If you take this seriously, give it consistency, and stack these habits over the weeks ahead, you may be genuinely surprised at how much of that old energy comes back. And if you want the exact natural support I personally recommend to men working on this, it's waiting for you in the link right below this video. Go check it out. You've got far more control over your vitality than anyone ever told you. Start small, stay consistent, and give your body a reason to fire that engine back up. I'm glad you spent this time with me. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. And just so we're clear, Everything I've shared here is general education to help you ask better questions, not medical advice. So talk with your own healthcare provider before making changes, especially if you have a health condition or take medication.